Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Priestess Demari speaking. So I'm just jumping in quickly on another video to mention the whole AI situation and how out of hand it's already got. It's funny because we now have one of the big players at Google, okay? The guy that was essentially the right-hand man of Steve Jobs that helped develop Apple, okay? This guy was a huge player when it comes to the development of AI for Google, right? He has now quit his job at Google, citing that it is incredibly dangerous how flippantly AI technology is being implemented without any kind of safeguards, without any kind of protocols in place, And so because of that, because nothing is being done about it, it's a case of now that he's thrown in the towel. He said, I'm not doing this anymore. I quit, So clearly, this guy's been raising some genuine concerns over a period of time, but no one's been taking him seriously. This is a smart guy. This is a guy who knows what he's talking about. He's worked closely with AI technology, and yet, Google were essentially flipping him off. So it reached the point where he said, well, I quit. And he literally did. He quit his position at Google and has now since been warning the public of how dangerous AI technology is and how it's already being used by bad actors in a series of crimes, and how it can have devastating consequences, on a global scale, not just in terms of the economy, not just in terms of privacy, but in terms of how we interact with one another and how it can ruin multiple lives. There was already a case recently how a mother was saying on national television in the US how she received a fake call demanding ransom for her daughter. It was a voice that sounded exactly like her daughter's voice, and it was her daughter's voice, saying that she'd been kidnapped and they're asking for ransom and all this. So the mother's freaked out, okay, because she's hearing her daughter's voice and this apparent kidnapping situation and ransom. The daughter wasn't even kidnapped. I believe they was at a friend's house or something like that. They were somewhere else, but they were safe and sound. So can you imagine if she actually agreed to the terms, went wherever, gave them the money? She would have lost that money. She could have potentially lost her life. But luckily, this was caught, But I don't know if they found out who was responsible for that. So already, this technology is being weaponized, right? So that's one thing I wanted to mention about it. The fact that you have someone like this guy. I don't actually remember his name. I really suck at remembering names. But you can Google it, right? You can search it. It's there. He literally quit his job over, how dangerous AI technology and its, rapid implementation without any kind of cause or, sort of cause for concern or safeguarding or any of that, has happened. And it continues to be implemented at a rapid rate across all areas of our lives. Elon Musk, he's another big proponent of AI technology. He's the one that invented the Neuralink, the chip that's going to go inside your brain, so you can control things like your phone and other electronic devices that is, connected to the internet, the Internet of Things. Even he has said many times in many interviews, many conferences, that safeguards need to be in place because it has incredibly dangerous implications if it continues to go unchecked. And it's not just in terms of how other people will use AI technology in a nefarious way, but also how the AI themselves could end up doing some incredibly dangerous, harmful things, running on certain protocols that they program themselves to do. Some AI software and technology is that intelligent already that it can create and run its own protocols. It can create its own coding. It can replicate itself. It's already happened. There's already been some tests done with some incredibly intelligent AI that they had to shut the program down. You can look into this. They've had to shut certain programs down because what the AI wanted to do was essentially erase humanity, okay? Like, I'm not saying this as a joke or like some kind of, crazy theory, but no, like literally, there was an experiment, I think it was in Japan, where the AI said, you know, to solve a lot of the issues in the world, they would have to eradicate humans. And they were talking about how they would go about doing that. So they quickly, you know, shut down the program, you know, and deprogrammed the robot that was, you know, that was supposed to essentially be a home to this AI technology. So it's scary, right? It's really scary, the implications, but it's already a little bit too late. They're talking about safeguards now when that should have been implemented from the beginning. Now it's already a little bit too late because AI has been integrated with everything. Even our phones right now, you know, most apps have some kind of AI integration already. You know, the way we shop now, a lot of AI integration. Even in the supermarket, AI integration, facial recognition, you know, smart checkouts, things of that nature, smart pay options, right? It's in every aspect of our lives. Now it's reached the point where, you know, technology has had such a detrimental impact on creativity and art that you don't even need artists anymore. You don't need creatives anymore. You can literally get AI technology to do the creativity for you. Like literally, I just watched a video earlier how a rapper was saying that there's no need for rappers anymore because AI technology will literally write verses for you. They'll write whole songs for you. And they, you know, a couple of rappers have gone on record saying that, you know, some producers and artists and labels and execs are already doing that. They're already using AI to write songs for them. You know, so they don't even need artists. They don't need ghostwriters anymore. Ghostwriting is basically going out the window. It's the same even for beat making now. Producers, you know, they're getting AI to write songs. They're getting AI to create pictures. You don't need photographers anymore. You don't need models anymore because you can literally just run one of these AI programs, these apps, and it steals bits of content from all over the world, from the internet, and it mashes them into an image, you know? That's how it works. That's how these AI apps works, where you can create these interesting images like digital art, you know, photography and stuff like that. It's stealing information from different artworks across the world and mashing it together based on the protocols you set, i.e. the information you put in. So it's killing art, it's killing creativity, it's getting rid of a lot of jobs, okay? It's literally making the human experience obsolete. So what is the point in us being here if the human experience is becoming obsolete? You see where I'm going with this? So you couple that with the fact that there has been this push and this agenda for depopulation. You know, we even saw it written clear as day on the Georgia Guidestones. If you don't know what the Georgia Guidestones is, have a look into that. The number 500 million has been set in stone, literally, for decades now. You know, hence, you know, our water and our food being poisoned to the max. Do they want to get rid of people entirely? No. But do they want to get rid of a good portion of the population? Yeah, because now the numbers are getting too large to control, you know? And we are, in some areas, repopulating at such a rapid rate. That's why they try to curb it in places like China, right? To stop overpopulation. But now it's becoming underpopulated. People are not having enough babies because they can't afford to. The standard of living has dropped dramatically. Yeah, life has maybe become more convenient, but the standard and the quality of living in a lot of places, even in places that are considered first world countries, has declined dramatically. Even though the overall starvation levels, you know, world hunger levels, has seemingly decreased. And so that's what they say. However, I feel like that is something that can be challenged because we know that a lot of crops are dying. You know, we're having severe weather patterns, you know, erratic changes in weather, and that has affected crops around the world. So I don't know. And we know there has been a food crisis. There has been, you know, an energy crisis, oil crisis because of wars. You know, I just feel like all of this kind of filters into the same issue and the same agenda to create total collapse, you know, but systematically. They want it to be a controlled demolition. And so, you know, the more that people feel like, you know, they are at the mercy of technology and their governments and, you know, the corporations, then the more that people are going to feel like they have no choice but to fall in line, right? That's why there's still this push for like smart cities where everything is tracked, everything is monitored. You don't own a single thing, you know, you don't have any land, you don't have property. Everything is state owned. You know, it's very 1989. You know, it's a great movie. If you haven't watched that, it's a great book as well. If you haven't read it, check it out. It's very much what they're pushing for. And bearing in mind as well that that is based in the UK, in Britain, okay? So it's very telling, especially, like I said, with the changes that have recently taken place in the established order of things. So yeah, but this is where they're headed, you know. As much as they'll complain and ridicule and point fingers at China for being like a you know, a big brother state, that's exactly where the rest of us are heading. They want to implement the same things over here. They want to implement the same things in the US and other parts of the world, you know, Australia, New Zealand, you know, the Emirates, other parts of Europe, you know, across the world, even in Africa. They're testing this out in India. You know, there's been a lot of testing taking place in terms of like smart communities and stuff under the radar in parts of Africa and India, you know. But a lot of this stuff doesn't get televised, you know. So that's why it's important for us to be aware, to do our research and to see the signs, right, of where this is all heading. And that's the thing, AI has become so, it's become so integrated with the biological system, okay, the biological intelligence system. I call it the BI at this point, right, which is the matrix, right, that it's going to start to become indistinguishable at some point. You know, I've been having a lot of like prophetic dreams about this. And it's giving like, minority support on steroids, right? It's that kind of thing. Again, another great movie if you haven't seen it. I think it's Steven Spielberg that directed that movie. But that gives you a good insight of where things are going, you know. But I feel like that's just, you know, that's, that's like a very child-friendly way of putting it still, right? But from what I've been seeing in the last few days in the dream state, like, wow, it's impressive. I'm not going to lie to you, what I've been seeing, because I've been jumping between timelines as I do. It's impressive. It's got that minority feel to it, you know, Minority Report feel to it. But even more so, imagine VR that combines augmented reality without the goggles, right? But it being more, you know, immersive, okay? Much more immersive, where you physically start to, you know, enact certain things within, say, like a game or something. You know, it's crazy what I was seeing, you know? Like, I'm looking at it like, how is that even possible? You know, like respawning and stuff like that, and you're having a physiological impact. But then again, that's where something like the Neuralink could come into play. So honestly, like, I could go into this and ramble about it for ages, but there are some very strong implications with where it's all headed, you know. And like I said, it's already become integrated, you know, with our reality so much already that it's almost like a snowballing effect. It's almost too late. So them already saying like now, or them saying now, like, oh, we need to do something about AI technology. We need to put safeguards in place. We need more, you know, sort of protocols for privacy and safety and security. It's already a bit too late for that. They should have done that from the beginning. Now we're in damage control mode, you know, but it's like I said, AI, and you've got to remember as well that quantum computing has not been a new development. That has been around for decades now. You know, the black box technology, that's already been in existence, you know. That's been in existence for decades now, but it's only started to be released commercially, obviously to, you know, we're talking, you know, the top circles of the business sector, but that's only being made commercially viable now, but that's already been in existence. Quantum computing is not a new thing, you know. So these are things that, these are protocols, these are safeguards that should have been implemented way back when this first started being a thing, a reality, not just something that we dreamed about as a, you know, as a sci-fi movie, you know. But now they're talking about it. Now people are raising the alarm when it's already kind of too late, you know? Like, yeah, there's things we can still do to stop it from getting even more out of hand, but like I said, you know, they have been messing around with reality so much through quantum computing, and, you know, never mind what they've been doing at CERN and all the rest of it, you know, that it's already too late. They've already disrupted multiple timelines in order to get certain objectives, reach certain objectives, to reach certain goals, to shape the future, right? So, and it's coming at a cost. There is a significant backlash that's coming with this from the universe, because the universe is trying to course correct while they're constantly manipulating it, trying to manipulate it, you know. So it does come with some very severe consequences. So this is something I just wanted to mention. So AI, artificial intelligence, BI, biological intelligence, they're already being integrated. They're already being merged into one thing, right? It's like watching the Terminator play out, you know, with Skynet taking over things, you know, the Matrix with the bots and everything, and that centralized system, you know, that's already at play here. You know, they may not have amalgamated it into like a centralized system as such yet, but that's where it's headed if something isn't done right now. But I feel like there's already a bit of that going on, you know, covertly. Because like I said, you know, CERN plays a role in this. Quantum computing that's already been taking place plays a role in this, you know, and there are centers specifically for that as well. I was even looking to this, but all the way back in 2015, there were already these hubs, right, for quantum computers. And they were talking about how they want to make it viable for commercial use, right? 2015, people. We're now in 2023. So can you imagine how far we've come in those 8 years? Seriously. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there. So, because I think the weather's going to turn soon. I keep saying that, but then the sun comes out, which is awesome. I'm not complaining. But I just don't want to risk getting caught in the rain, because you never know. But yeah, so these are just some of the things that I wanted to quickly touch on. I could go into it in a lot more detail, but again, you know, timing is everything. You have to be smart with how you present certain things. So, but these are some of the, you know, sort of major things that are coming up at the moment, some things that we need to be aware of, okay? Because our 3D landscape is changing dramatically. Every day it's like shifting and morphing. So we need to be aware that, you know, the program essentially has already been hijacked. And that's why things are misaligning. There's information that doesn't match up. You know, you got the Mandela Effect that keeps happening because we are constantly having these timeline shifts on a collective level, and the changes that they're making through quantum computing, okay, and these CERN experiments. So yeah, so if you're noticing things that are not adding up, that may have something to do with it. But once you're aware, you know, you're better equipped to learn how to navigate these things. So that's why I like to bring these things to your attention, especially when it's being highlighted so prominently to me. And AI has been certainly recently. It keeps literally being screamed at me. I literally woke up 2 or 3 days ago with AI, literally, like I could see AI clear as day, like the actual letters, after having some of these like sort of timeline jumps, okay? So yeah, it's no joke. So I think it's important that, you know, we don't just jump on the AI bandwagon whenever we see something new being implemented, because you are consenting to that. And the more information you feed it and the more you integrate it with your life, the more control it has over your life. So just be mindful with some of these apps especially, and what information you want to share with it, how much you want to consent to essentially having AI control your life. Just something to think about. So I'm wishing you guys all the best, sending you all my love as always, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.